Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector, and this week I have with me another Transformers animated review, Transformers Animated Jazz. And while I did not mention it in the last review, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Elite... I'm covering a good portion of the Elite Guard, rather, the rest of the Elite Guard, after Sentinel. I did the Twins first, then I did Sentinel. This week we have Jazz, and next week we're going to have another member of the Elite Guard. But I'm not saying who or whom, whichever is the proper word for grammar, or the proper grammatical term, if I even got that word right. Gotta position the camera, it's being all wobbly again. Wibbly wobbly camera whamera. And Jazz turns into a little white sports car with a striped hood. Oh, technically the stripes should go all the way across the hood and onto the back, but that would cause problems in his robot mode. He even has molded in hubcaps, which are awesome. Technically, yes, they're molded in, but it's better than nothing. And yeah, naturally, rolls. And he does have weapons, which I'm going to remove first to make the transformation easier. Normally I just leave them in there, but judging how most of my reviews go, I'm not going to take any chances. So first, pull this up and attempt to, attempt to unbolt the legs. There you go. Not really unbolt, but unclip them. Fold the legs out, and you fold out the feet. And next thing you want to do, unpeg the arms. There are pegs on the underside there. You can see it right under the rear view mirror. And they tab into the, the tabs there tab into either that groove or the one in the middle. But you untab the side panels there, the doors, which roll up into the panels on his arms. And now that that one arm is done, fold that up, and you can put his weapon back in there. If you've seen the show, you know what his weapons are already. And you do the exact same thing on the other side. And then you can put those back in. Now, before you actually fold that part down, like I almost did, you can split the legs out. And then then I have to move this camera up, which will wobble and try to turn. You take this triangular piece, fold it down, then bring everything else down. And then you can push the windshield and the hood back, or you can just leave the hood flush against his back. And there's Transformers Animated Jazz in robot mode. He is voiced by Phil LaMarr, who is also known for doing Samurai Jack and Wilt for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. There are other voices and things that he's done. One of those voices being in a Let's Play that I co-hosted with Man in the Black Hat. But, I'd rather not talk about that review, or that Let's Play, or that game. So let's just get back to this review altogether and show off Jazz's little weapons here. They're nunchucks, or nunchaku, or however you're supposed to pronounce that word. And it's unknown, but for one reason or another, one set of these has a longer piece of string than the other. Or a longer piece of, string, fabric, whatever. But you have to tab them in by putting them into his hand, like so. I'm going to do it on both sides. And actually push up. instead of pushing down. And you can use the tabs on the one set to get him to hold them in place properly. Yeah, the ones for the right hand actually have the longer strand of fabric. But here you go. So I can show you better this time. Get his hand into view. Now, you place the strand into his hand first, then you pull up, and then have that little tab go right up against his thumb so it doesn't push too far up or go in or whatever. And now you can make him pull off some poses where he holds the other ends under his shoulders or into his armpits. Like Bruce Lee. If Bruce Lee were a giant robot that would talk like someone from the 60s. And yes, they gave Jazz the whole Motown, the whole Detroit Motown speech thing, instead of talking like, they just kept him in the spirit of things. And yes, his visor is light piped, and thankfully I have my flashlight with me, so I have a little glowing eye goodness. Move his windshield back a bit. And as for his posability, both of his arms are double jointed. Unlike Sentinels, which are double jointed in the wrong way, these are double jointed in the right way, so he can go full up. His hands have the ball joint connected to him, giving him ball jointed wrists with near universal movement if it wasn't for that door panel, which you can technically move out of the way. Technically. His shoulders are on a ball joint, meaning those can move around in weird ways. Head, also on a ball joint, but because of Animated's ball... Ooh, that didn't sound good. That didn't sound good at all. I would suggest against moving his head, more than from side to side or up and down. Because when I tried to rotate his head all the way around, that did not sound... it made a noise that I did not like. So I'm only going to rotate... I only rotated it around twice. His, yeah, he has, well, technically you can call that a waist or a chest rotation or something. So he can do that. Thighs are on a ball joint, and he has a thigh swivel, and of course knee, but the knee is impartial to transformation. And remember, as I mentioned earlier, the stripe should go across the top of his vehicle mode and to the back. That'd be problematic because his legs are completely white. No, save for the windshield and the windows and his black feet, which can wiggle. And as a height comparison, here's Jazz and Optimus. Optimus still being pretty big. And here's Jazz with Sentinel, which I have to remove Optimus off camera so I can get these two on camera together. And believe it or not, Jazz actually is as tall as Sentinel. This is kind of what I meant when I said Sentinel is kind of stout. He's not short, he's just really wide, giving the illusion that he's really short. So we'll get rid of him and show him alone. Or, I can pull out Jazz's bio card, which, believe it or not, is undamaged. And, yeah, he's a member of the Elite Guard, too. one of the ones who appeared in the TV series quite often. So here's his bio. Feel free to pause when it, becomes readable. Though I really don't pay heed to any of the bios. And here is Galactic Powers and Abilities. Master of Circuitsu. Even more powerful than Prowl. Prefers hand-to-hand combat over fighting at a distance. Member of the Elite Guard. Yeah. Again, I really don't listen to any of the bios for the toys because the show kind of made the characters even more. As well as some of the comics and things. Especially the one BotCon thing. That pretty much proved something about someone who will be coming at a later date. So, this is Transformers Animated Jazz. And I will see you all next week with another Transformers Animated review and another member of the Elite Guard. Later.